making gluten-free bread, so I have in here the active yeast, quarter teaspoon of sugar, and a quarter cup of warm water. And I'm waiting for it to activate. Recipe calls for 3 cups of canned lacto all-purpose flour, which is gluten-free, 3 eggs, the active yeast, quarter of teaspoon of softened butter, and a cup of milk. And to activate your yeast, you have to make sure that it bubbles. And once it bubbles, it's fine. The way I was taught to make from scratch is to have all your dry ingredients in one bowl, all your wet ingredients in the other, and activate your yeast in another. And then you gently incorporate the wet to the dry. So now I need to beat the yeast into the flour. So I'm gently going to add the yeast. I'm going to make sure I get all of it out of the bowl. Start incorporating it before I use the mixer. You always fold the wet into the dry. My mixer doesn't have a flat paddle, but the Pampered Chef Deluxe stand mixer has a bread fixture in it, and it'll stop when the bread is completely incorporated. And the stand mixer has many other features besides it being programmable. So while it's sitting for a minute, while I put my mixer together, so slowly, I'm gonna mix all of this. I'm going to use the bigger metal bowl, and I transferred into a deeper bowl to make it easier to fold. It's actually folded, all incorporated, but I really need to use, as you can see, it's thick bread already. So I'm just going to use my spatula to finish incorporating it after I put my eggs in. So I got everything off of the beater. Now I'm just gonna slowly incorporate the eggs. You always fold clockwise. Add a little bit more flour. Since it's too liquidy. Flour in it. And the recipe called for regular milk, but I'm not allowed to have regular milk, so I used my oat milk. And once it's combined, I'll knead it the old way like my grandmother did, and my great-grandmother did. My plastic is out to knead. I have my Pampered Chef stoneware, which I haven't used yet. So I'm going to take out bread. Better to put parchment paper in it because then all you do is pull it out. So lining my stone. I'm going to take my other stoneware out of the stove to make room for this. I usually cut slits in the corners so it sits down better. I redid my kitchen. I put in a granite countertop so if I wanted to knead bread or cookie dough, I could do it by hand on the countertop. So now I'm just gonna, you fold it into itself. And gluten-free bread is stickier than others because you have to add xanthan gum also, which I didn't use because I'm allergic to it. So, and I used the oat milk, which is thinner than regular milk. You can add herbs to it. You can leave it plain. You can add cranberries to it, and orange zest. If I would buy gluten-free bread from the grocery store, this is the size of it. And the slices aren't even that thick. And it's almost $6. When a regular loaf of bread is a lot cheaper. It has to sit in here for an hour covered. I'm going to put a damp rag over it too. This is how I was taught to make bread. And this is clean, so I'm going to put it in warm water. And let it rise for an hour. And it stays covered. Then it goes into here and it cooks for about 45 minutes.